Sorry we started a little late. I think we're like a couple people trickling in. I'm gonna send this link out and we'll get started. I think we're not live yet. We're live in like 2 seconds. There we go. All right, we're in. I'm gonna send this link out and okay. Okay. Mr. Tom Young, sir. Boom. All right, it's on Twitter. I just posted on Twitter. And
Sweet.
There it is. And boom. Okay. And then put in my Discord real quick, and then we'll get started. Bro, Discord was down as fuck the other day.
It was last night. It wasn't even long ago. Honestly,
Was it last night?
fucking
Oh my God.
It was last night. It was last night. The pain. Well, it was during the middle of the day for you, but the pain that everyone felt, and I was like, now you guys know. Now you guys fucking know that when I had it for 3 weeks and I was fucking crying about it on YouTube and crying about it to everyone. That's how painful it is. You literally cannot do you couldn't do your job. I couldn't do my job. Well, and it was tough.
Well, you can do your job if it's only for a day, like what just happened. But for you, for weeks on end, you're fucked. For me, I was fucked. I didn't care, but like it was fine.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes is fine, but for 3 weeks it was 100%. that was rough. That was rough. That was rough. It was a rough one, you know.
A rough one. Jay Watson's in the house. There's a few other comments I saw, but I'm not sure if Restream's like, guys, you just go ahead and start now.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. If you guys don't know, the sign behind me is the new Joyage Kingdom. It's backwards right now, but the Joyage Kingdom sign behind us is baller. It's extremely fucking bright. Wait, why are you not equal side with me?
You can change let's see this. Do you know you can flip your camera so you could read
How do I do that?
So if you go into the settings and you go to your camera settings, there's a flip toggle.
Oh shit.
The problem is
there you go. Look at that. Joyage Kingdom, baby. It's really, really bright. I had the settings on my real camera to make it so I actually see it. It just looks really bright right now. But it's baller. It was expensive and it's dope. But I was gonna
ask, man, because I'm like, I want one for my place up here.
You should
get a big blank. But like, it looks so cool. I was gonna wonder if it was like super expensive.
Hell yeah, Lord Fresh says I'm already ready for that next bull run.
Hey,
are you really, dude? Wow.
Aren't we all?
Okay. Yo, check this. Check this shirt out. While we have a couple people in here and trickle it in, I have this shirt that this fucking company sent me called Broken Sea.
That is sick. That is
it's actually
really sick.
It's funny. The design is funny, but they sent me it's a Walmart brand shirt. I know this because I've bought like the one on Amazon, the standard one that comes from Walmart. It's like Guilford brand or something. So when I got it, I was like, oh, all right. And they just slapped it on the Amazon do-it-yourself shirt.
Who sent it to you? That's sick.
I don't even know. Some fucking some clothing company. I thought it was like real clothes, but it's just the standard Amazon copy and paste like custom shirt that they have. So that's too bad, but it's fine. I appreciate the free shirt. So okay. All right, guys, we're going to start right now. Welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. Welcome to Tea Time with Tom in the Joyage Kingdom. We got a lot to talk about. We got crypto pumping a little bit. We got NFTs still doing a whole lot of nothing. We have some NFTs that had some reveals coming up, a reveal that already happened. We have Tai Lopez sucking everyone. I think, what was it? I don't know why I brought Tai. There's no way that happened this past week, but I guess it did. We have some stuff to talk about for strategies coming forward, some projects that we think are going to, well, not specific projects I'm going to talk about, but just some common trends we think are gonna start popping up. We have GaryVee's VFriends coming up very soon. He's been all over Twitter talking about that. So we got a lot to talk about, and we're gonna roll our intro in 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right.
Noise.
Share my screen here. Okay, so if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. Follow Tom on Twitter. We're beasts. We do a good shit on Twitter. It's a good place to be. Good place to be. Also, you should follow the main and lead designer behind Joyage Kingdom. The original logo was drawn by Sarah Beth. She just joined Twitter yesterday. She's been here for a while, but she joined NFT Twitter yesterday. So throw her a follow. She's going to be a beast. She's going to be doing lots of NFT art. I assume she's probably going to be hired out from other projects too, because she's really good at that stuff. She does a lot of like fan art stuff, and she's been recognized for a few different projects. So she's actually a beast. So throw her a follow on Twitter. She's going to be big. Anyways, let's move on. We got crypto. What do we got? We have Bitcoin at 42K, Ethereum at 27. If you guys can see here, there's been a slight pump here in the past couple days, or maybe even the last day. And as far as other coins, we're seeing a little bit of gain. But in like the whole scheme of things, like the last 7 days, most of the projects are still down here. Cardano's at 84 cents, Solana's at 86. I think Solana's still a strong play. Anything under $100, I think, is still a good opportunity for Solana, just because they've proven to I mean, they fucking are being used. So, you know, it's one of those coins that actually has a little bit of a use case, rather than like Cardano, which really isn't being used, or Dogecoin is not really being used. But everything's still down. You know, it's still a decent buying opportunity if you have the liquid. I did make a tweet yesterday, and was interested to hear your thoughts on this, Tom. For people who are over leveraged in the market, we're at a very pinnacle point where we could start going up. But I mean, this could be the leg where we could start going up, or it could just be a what's it called, dead cat bounce or whatever, and then we go back down. And I just said, look, in case we do go straight back down, if you're over leveraged, I think you should, and you're not like super down bad, and you're not down 700%. I think you should be holding cash, maybe, because the market might go even down. And if you have money that you need to be paying rent with, that's the money I'd be taking out. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, man, because it's so contextual depending on whose situation. There's a lot of variables in play, and no one knows what the fuck's going on. Like, everything that's happened so far is purely because there is, well, we call it World War III, but there's the first war that we've had in a long time that involved like a large country, and it has crushed like exuberance in the market. And whether it's NFT trading, where we're trading the most illiquid assets that there are in a very young market, or if it's just you're trading stocks, it's just the same. Like ironically, at the moment, Bitcoin and like the actual crypto market has kind of been buoyant a little bit in the last couple of days. We've seen a bit of resurgence.
Wow.
People have been saying that this is a demonstration that we're seeing a decoupling between the kind of like traditional markets and crypto markets.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that like what I think we're seeing is, I mean, we saw some good news today, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw some really good news with the early release of the executive order from Joe Biden that he's going to sign, which was basically the green light for the country and the government to go after essentially just researching and understanding crypto, like at a very basic level. It's like, we're not going to restrict it. We are going to put resources towards allocating policy towards it, but we have to we now recognize that this is a very powerful technology that probably the rest of the world now, actually, they're a little further ahead than the US. So this is their opportunity. This is the best news. This was the news we were hoping for. Like, I think it's kind of come at a really shit time, because this is what we were begging for the last like 6 months. We were begging for this kind of news, the news that the government's not going to restrict anything. That was the news that we were worried about. So yeah, it's coming at a shit time. But yeah, look at like Bitcoin is bouncing at about 40, like just below 42,000. Incredible news. Like, really, as bullish, most bullish news that we have ever received is the US government accepting that this is something that they are going to focus on in a positive way. Fucking epic news. The best news that we could have.
Yeah, it's dope. And the decoupling is It's one of those things. I've heard some people also say that, throw the decoupling word around on Twitter. I think it's too early for me to decide whether or not we've truly decoupled, because I feel like we just need to go through a few more cycles to actually know if that's just luck, if it's just like the state of the market plus this, plus that, plus this, plus that, and then that just ended up being this, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the decoupling. It's just what all these 25 different things had to do with each other. And also, Amin asked what our thoughts on play to earn game. We're going to get to that definitely in this episode. We have a lot to talk about for that. So that's going to be good. But yeah, so let me pop back into the chart. We can just take a quick glance at the actual chart for Bitcoin in the past 3 months. So this is the 3-month chart for Bitcoin. This is where we were at last week, I think. What's today's we were like around here. I think we were still I think we were down bad. So I think this is we were in this region. And so if you look at this, it's like, oh, we're pumping, but in the grand scheme of things, at 3 months, bro, like it's a pump, but like I just want people to keep perspective. This isn't quite we're going to the moon kind of pump yet. I mean, it might be. I just want people to relax.
All it is a it's a validation pump. It's a good news pump. We had a really good piece of news, and it is no way. And if you look at this chart, right, it is in the macroeconomics kind of spectrum that we're in the state that we're in currently, when there is a war that is currently being waged, sanctions that are crushing the Russian economy, and it's all it is that was a nice salute to, okay, the US government is going to give the green light to Web3, which is what we've been waiting for. So it's amazing.
If you look here for some extremely basic tech TA, if you want to say that, if you look at these lower lows, it's actually getting a little bit better, just a tad. If you look here in the middle, it's pretty low, and then you go and it goes a little bit higher, then it's like a teeny bit higher right after. So I mean, it looks like it's some accumulation. I know a lot of the big TAs on YouTube are saying we're probably just in a bouncy year, just going to be a whole lot of this. We think it's going to go up, and then it just kind of comes back down. We're like, and then it's like a bunch of just foreplay with no actual intercourse at the end. So that's what I've heard is a lot of the things happening. But anyways, here's OpenSea's 7-day. Let's see. So we've got 156,000 users, 473,000 transactions, 373 million, 375.23 million volume. And then for the 7-day chart, pretty stagnant, just like not a whole lot going, about 50 million volume, 64,000 transactions. On the 30-day chart for NFTs and OpenSea, it's kind of just downward. It's not like a terrible crash. I think the crash already happened, so we're kind of just teetering in this whole we're bored, nothing crazy is happening, nothing cool, interesting is happening. Usually something kicks off the next bull run. So there's a chance that we stay in this accumulation for NFTs for longer than we ever have, and VFriends kicks it off. Or there's a chance that some stupid project launches and then everyone's back on, and then Alex Becker says bull run and everyone's back on. I don't fucking know what's going to happen. What do you think the catalyst is going to be for the NFT bull run next?
To be honest, I've seen some signs over the last couple of days, which are things that I haven't seen for feels like a couple of weeks now, or at least like a week. That is like projects like mega pumping, mega pump.
Wait, who?
So as in when I say like mega pumping, but I mean like as in just seeing a lot of volume within a very short amount of time. Yesterday I think I spoke about this with a couple of guys. So there's Dower Darsels, which had been they had a successful launch, and they've been Patrick was up, and they've clearly been working with some marketing partners. They've got some big punchy influencers on board. We saw that really fly yesterday which was nice to see, like to go on the volume tool and be like seeing like 300 sales in the last 30 minutes.
Actually, you know what? You're right. I have seen a lot of projects with a good bit of volume recently. Not a lot of floor difference. The floors pretty much stayed the same for a lot of these projects, but the volume is actually there for some random ass projects, bro. Like when I covered Fluff World yesterday, I think this is an OG blue chip that literally nobody has heard of. It's like a floor of like 3 ETH. And it's a massive ecosystem, like a massive NFT project that I'm just shocked that it's not being talked about more, and launched back in August. But I looked at the volume and I was like, oh, it's gonna be dead. You know, it's like it's a good floor press. I'm sure it's a strong community. But then I was like, oh, there's sales happening like every 10 minutes. Like, what is going on? I've never even heard of this. And in the video, I was like, it's wild that we're so focused on this stuff. You're focused on these projects. I'm focused over here. Alex Becker's focused over here. And yet everywhere else, there's other shit going on. And there's people just as involved as you are on an entirely different subject, on an entirely different part of the market. And that is wild to me.
It is. It's impossible to have eyes on everything. And it's like, it makes it very difficult. It makes it fun for us actually, because it means there's like a never ending kind of supply of potential news, potential like interest and content to be made off it. You know, we've got a big one for like, I know for you tonight, we've got the antonym reveal tonight, which is going to be.
Is that tonight?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's tonight.
Or tomorrow. Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm a fiend for art and stuff. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna pick up 2 more or if I'm just gonna sell off pre-reveal. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really have like no clue, honestly. I've never really messed with pre-reveal stuff, but I've also never really cared back then. Like I like the business side of the project, and I just fucking want a real, like I just want that real thing. You know, like Nate was talking about. He's like, we're just so tired of bullshit. Yeah. Airdrops and like these stupid picture things. I was like, I want something real so I can tie. That's why I have all this Joyage Kingdom shit. I've got the Joyage Kingdom belt behind me. I've got the thing. I've got all, like I've got hats. If you look at my room, there's Joyage everywhere I look. I see the word Joyage. It's on these hats here. It's on this shirt next to me. Like it's fucking stupid on my little jar.
Kate's gonna wake up one morning and he's gonna literally have Joyage like stenciled across his eyes, and that's all he'll be able to see. People are fuck, it's happened.
Actually,
man.
If there's an artist in here right now, I will give you a Side of Light NFT. This Espo Visuals, Cine's OG collection, the OG artist. I think the floor on that's like 5 or 6 ETH. I will give you one if you make me it has to be good, obviously. I don't even know if I want to say this. Okay, maybe I'll give someone art. If you can make a really cool piece of art with me, with my Joyage Kingdom logo as my eyes, kind of like how Coraline does, but not make it look like shit. I don't know. I'll just be happy. I won't make any promises, but that'd be cool.
as if the boy didn't need any more Joyage stuff. He's asking for a fucking custom piece of artwork with his eyes as his logo.
Victor, we did talk about this a bit earlier, like 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, I think. Probably like close to 6 or 7 minutes away. So just scroll back down, or scroll back a few minutes. Hold on. Make sure we were supposed to put this on Twitter Spaces. Should we just do that?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? You don't have to do anything. I'll just go on Twitter Spaces, and then I can invite you as a co-host. Also, guys, we're gonna take like a 1 minute break so I can make this happen. But if you're in the chat right now and if you click the like button for me, that would be tremendous. I would really, really appreciate that. So, let's see. I'm gonna put our Twitters here so you can find us. But if you don't follow us on Twitter, that's our Twitters right there. I'm going to go onto Twitter Spaces. How do I even do this? I haven't even done a Twitter Space. What is this going to be called? So Tea Time with Tom live on YouTube. Record space, yes. Add topics, no. Tea Time with Tom. Can I invite you? Yes. I'm inviting you right now. Wait, how do I invite you? If you come as a listener.
Got you.
Then I can. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
And then we don't have to turn on our voices at all. So we'll just let this play. And if people just want to join, like whatever, that's fine. And all right, Tom, you're in. I'm going to make you a co-host. And then just turn off your mic because they're going to be able to hear us both, through my mic on my phone because we're playing. Oh, wait, no, we're not. No, turn your mic on, actually, because we both have headphones. Let me know when you do. Okay. All right. So we both have it. Every time we talk, it should pop up. This should work. If not, I don't really care. Fuck Twitter Spaces. I don't know what goes on there. But anyways.
Okay, I can't hear you now. Can you hear me?
You can't hear me now? Why can't you hear me?
I was connected. My headphones automatically connected to my phone.
Okay.
So we're good.
All right. Turn your phone volume down because I can hear myself on your thing.
Here we go.
And then if you turn your mic on the Twitter Spaces, are you still able to hear me here or no?
Yeah, I got you. We're good.
Okay. All right. Well, nice. Well, there. Cool. All right. We're back. We're back, yo. We're back. Thanks for sticking with us. If you haven't clicked the like button, click that like button. We're gonna move on. Yeah. So we have Feline Fiends that just revealed the other day their floor again. Like I suspected, it wasn't gonna do anything crazy. I was actually shocked that it even got to. I think it got to like 0.15 at one point. But that was because GaryVee tweeted or something, and he said something, and so people like freaked out and bought in. But the floor's back down to like the mid price. You know, the reveal's cute. Yeah, it's cool. There's just, I mean, it's just a profile picture collection. Like it would have had to have been legendarily breakthrough to do well on a mint during a bear market. So my advice, honestly, like I'm curious to see what you think on this, Tom. My advice for projects who have spent all this time trying to have a successful launch and whatnot, and then just happening to be in a bear market, is it better to just do the launch anyway, or like wait? You know, like for me, I'm like, that's like, you know what, this is not working. So I can hear both of us on our phones too.
Yeah,
can you hear
no.
Okay, let's fucking turn this shit off. I was gonna say I can hear this and it's not working. Okay.
I was like, I can't. You can't turn the volume all the way down.
Yeah, it's so stupid, dude. I don't get it.
Anyway, fail.
Right.
Okay, yeah. The answer to your question. Hey, look, we're technological innovators in this fucking podcast. Yeah. We try shit out. We're pioneers. We try and make things happen. So I've seen some. I think in my group today there was someone saying that a couple of projects have pushed their mints by a few weeks because.
What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I was in their situation, I would probably do the same. I think but the tough thing is that at the moment we're seeing like, okay, well, perhaps if they do, they go for like a free mint. If they're a good project, if they're a really good project, then they will crush it on secondary sales, and so therefore they do not need to. They don't need to mint now. Sorry, they don't need to wait to mint. They can do it now. They can perhaps do it for free. It's basically like, what is the purpose of the project? And this is where it comes into, how are these businesses funding or planning to fund themselves?
That's the big question.
That's the big question, right? It's like, if they're a legit company and they're doing this properly, then they should have seed funding. And so, but that's just, it's a tough one. What do you think?
Yeah, it depends on the caliber of project. If it's a standard, we're 10K collection, this, that, we have roadmap, we have this. It's like, bro, y'all are fucked no matter what you do. You know, like if you launch now, you're not going to make as much money. If you launch later, you might lose some attention and momentum, but you'll be in a better part of the market. But I think for 99% of projects that just aren't that good, I think you have no choice but to wait. And then you just cross your fucking fingers and hope that it does well. And then you actually know what you're doing. And maybe you can hire someone who can help you. But I'm going to talk now to projects who know what they're doing, or like have, you know, capable founders and stuff. For them, it's not going to matter. And I saw some tweet, I don't know who this was. It might have actually, I was trying to research Beanie because someone tweeted about Beanie being a piece of shit. And I went on his thing and I saw something on his page about, it was either him or someone else, and he liked the tweet maybe. And it was, if you do a free mint, then you have no money out the gate other than this, but you do make secondary sales. So if you have a strong brand, your secondary sales will give you a lot of money. And my thought with that was that if you have a free mint, that takes 100% of the pressure off, because they can't say, we invested our money into you. It's like, no, you literally didn't, you know? And so I'm actually, if I ever do a project like that, I'm going to do my very best to make it a free mint or something so cheap that it's painful, because that takes pressure off you. You don't have to rush anything. You don't have an AMA. Like there was an AMA with the Crypto Goons yesterday that went kind of not sour, but there's some people like, well, like what's happening here? What's happening there? You guys have been working for this long. And they're like, bro, it takes like a year. It's only been like 6 months. And they're like, yeah, but like, what do you have to say? Like, there's nothing really to say other than it's going to take 6 more months. And they're like, well, and I was just like, man, if they had a zero mint, then like, or a zero price mint, then that argument doesn't even, like, it's not even a thing anymore, right? Or
yes, it's like, So there's a couple of things there. One of them is that we are clearly in a place where the reality is there's a lot of young people here that don't understand how to build businesses, and whether that's they see the big flashing lights of, okay, I can make a 1 million, 2 million, $500,000 payday, and they have no fucking clue how much work is going to have to go into it, how many people that they need to hire, how much energy goes into creating this, and just how to just manage the operations of a day-to-day business, let alone grow something. And so we see it from two sides. We see the people who have expectations that projects should be delivering daily on stuff that have no fucking clue how to build organizations. And then we have the flip side where we have young people who are coming in thinking this is their GaryVee moment, and they're all of a sudden going to be millionaires, trying to build something and failing because they're not. I don't want to say they're clueless, but there is a reality to you. Unless you're Mark Zuckerberg and you come up with something truly innovative, or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk that comes up with something absolutely innovative that no one has ever seen before, it is going to take you years to learn how to build a business. You have the only thing that will buffer that is if you find something that is truly innovative, that nothing has not been made before, and people will. You can get funding, and then the funding, like the VCs, the angel investors, whatever, the institutional money that will go into that, the board from those VCs will expect that you hire a fucking ton of experienced people. In NFTs, there is none of that. There's no intelligence around, this isn't, it's, oh my God, this is an opportunity to make $1 million, but no one's holding you accountable. And so that's why we're seeing so many fails. So yeah,
I think people are scared to do a free mint too, because they're like, well, I'm leaving money on the table. But the reality is, if you've ever looked at any business ever, there is no other situation other than this world right now with NFTs that you just get $1 million at the bat. That's not a thing. Like, people think that's a thing because that's how NFT projects are doing. I'm like, no, that is not a thing. It's a free mint.
Exactly. It is. You have to prove value before people give you money. And when you're going into, if your value proof is that you've dropped a few sneak peeks of some fucking JPEGs, then you are. Yeah, exactly. That's an amazing example. Of people who are skilled
everybody,
enough.
Dude. God.
Yeah, they fucked everybody. But they were skilled enough to be able to pull the wool over people's eyes. Long enough and good enough. But yeah, it's the reason why we're not seeing many free mints is because, frankly, 95% of projects right now and people who are coming into this space have come in because they see it as their fucking retirement payday.
Yeah. You know what's interesting?
And that's it.
Alien Friends launched a few months ago, like 5 months ago, maybe, I think 4 or 5 months ago. Is that long? 4 months ago? And their mint was 0.02. That's damn near free, basically, So and they have a very strong brand. I don't see a lot of people complaining other than they're excited to be there. And I think if you have a mint that's too expensive, people aren't buying because they're excited to be there. Like, I said this in the Twitter Spaces. I was like, look, guys, if you're complaining because you bought this, you didn't get that immediately, you're buying NFTs for the wrong reason. The reason I bought a subduck is because I wanted to be a subduck. There's no other reason I bought a subduck. I just wanted to be a subduck. I bought a goon because I wanted to be a goon. That's it. Like, there's really nothing after that. And when it's expensive, if you don't have enough money to be buying stuff like that at like secondary sales, then that's the mentality to have. I mean, if you're buying something for $2,000, you're like, look, I'm buying this so I can be in the club. This is actually I just did. So what I spent 3 hours last night doing was I was researching the Board Ape Yacht Club because I haven't reviewed them yet, and I was like, I need to. But before I was like, there's no point. What's the reason they're just a big project would be for no reason. And then I did a research in depth, and I was like, oh shit, hold on. There's actually way more to this project than I thought, and I think people are going to be shocked by that video. There's way more than I thought that went into that project. And some incredible details I found from the very inception of their project. We found screenshots and messages from was it like June or something of last year before they even started, or whatever month that was. And it was kind of shocking. And like reading some articles and reading some messages, it was actually wild. And their mint was so cheap and it was so long ago that it built up the brand, and they said it in the article a couple times. They're like, look, all this is a club. You're just buying into a club. That's literally the only thing we'll ever promise. And look where they fucking went. And all the projects that are doing that, like VFriends, 20 ETH floor or something. He's like, look, all you're doing is you're investing in me. He's like, that's literally it. And I'm going to do all these crazy things. If you want to be part of it, that's it. And that's where the brand comes in. That's where people are just excited. People are in VFriends because they want to be a VFriends holder. That is the only reason people are in that project. And I think there's a lot of things that projects can take from that. Well, I hope they can.
Yeah, 100%.
See, so we got...
When are we going to see that video?
I'm hoping the Bored Ape Yacht Club I can film tonight or tomorrow. So it'll be this week. Here we got top NFTs for the last 7 days. We got cyber brokers. I've never even heard of that. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have. Yeah, because that's been brought up by a few people. In my group they mentioned it. Bullish on that.
What is it? Really?
So
holy shit! 2.5 ETH floor in a bear market. They just launched.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think they just launched. I thought they've been going for a little while. I'll be completely honest. I looked at them late last night because I was like, I remember seeing them like a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago. But I didn't look into them because I'll be honest, like, yeah, I just didn't vibe the art. Like, it's quite simple. It's as simple as that. No and I think that there's some utility beyond it, and that's the whole the whole reason.
Yeah.
That's some fucking
nice.
wild
Cyber brokers,
volume.
I guess. Yeah, that's a lot. With Bored Ape Yacht Club, again, no surprise here. Here's something that's interesting. I remember when Greg Norman, the former CEO of Bungie, Jupiter Group, he bought it to Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think he paid 108 ETH. It was the height of this bull run, and I remember like texting. I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "I bought the Bored Ape," and I was like, I didn't say this, but I was like, why the fuck did you buy it now? I was like, this is literally the worst time in the history of Bored Ape Yacht Club ever to buy a Bored Ape Yacht Club. It is the most, and I think people get caught up when a project's pumping and they're thinking, this is my last chance ever. And I see this on Twitter all the time. You'll never see this project go under this floor again. I'm like, yes, the fuck you will. Yes, the fuck you will. There's almost never a situation where that happens. Like Doodles is one of the clear examples of the ones that did, where it was like, yeah, you're literally fucked if you missed that. Because it did a 12x overnight and then just held that. But that's very, very rare that happens. And Bored Ape Yacht Club always drops 30 to 50% every market. The market is like, are you buying it at 108 ETH when you know it's going to come back down to 60 or 70 and now it's sitting on a 70 ETH floor? Yeah. I was just like, bro, you could sell 30 fucking ETH.
I know, man.
But anyway, whatever. I mean, that's when I buy product. Like I just bought the stuff. I'm sure you guys know on Twitter. Follow me there. That's when I buy the blue chips is now. And then when there's a project I want to get out of, I wait till the market's up and everyone's talking about it, and I sell then. That's just the strategy that works. And so, anyways, we got CloneX, Dippies, we have Invisible Friends at 7.5 floor, Mutant Ape Yacht Club at 14, Azuki's still hanging around the 10 ETH, CryptoPunks, as always, 0 floor price because that project is sketchy and no one understands what's going on there. Anthem at 0.63, Wonder Palace 0.5, VFriends 15.2. Nice. Let's see. Okay, so we have Tai Lopez, and you guys saw I covered this prior. I got some flack for it because I didn't cancel him immediately on my video. There wasn't anything here that was worth canceling other than the fact that he did a reverse Dutch auction, which I thought was just funny. But I don't know why people got so mad. It was more just like, you're a fucking idiot if you bought it. If you guys didn't do your research, if you watched my video, you would have done some research and realized, oh, this is true. 90% of people minted under 0.15. The vast majority of the project was well under 1 ETH for the mint. It was a subscription model project, just like Impact Theory Founders Key. There's no problem I saw with it. It was just the screenshots that people saw of like 47 ETH, 50 ETH for this, for like watching a movie title. Yes, that was ridiculous, but just fucking, yeah, that is ridiculous, but that's not the whole project. But people fucking hated on him because he's got a past history of, I guess, being that guy who just comes in here and ruins it for everybody. So if that's true, then yeah, I guess he's a piece of shit. But all the things I saw people canceling for were actually kind of like not actually true. But I don't know if you had any thoughts on Tai Lopez.
I mean,
they're sitting on a 3x here, 4x or 3x or what is it? 2-3x here on their on their OG, 0.1 floor. So I mean, that project so far has done well. But anyone who bought a 20 ETH play tennis with me, you're an idiot. but these are doing fine. Like the normal NFTs for his projects.
Yeah, I think the cynicism around this is that it's Tai Lopez. Like it's as pure and simple as it is the name Tai Lopez, and he has a pretty horrible reputation. Like he has a really horrible reputation.
He does have a bad reputation.
He does, and it's like no one really understands him. There doesn't seem to be. It's not like, okay, this is Tai Lopez. He is known for doing this. Like if you look at his kind of like history of where he's actually built businesses and stuff, it's not super impressive. He's just made a bunch of money from it's dreams. Exactly. And that's also true. What people dislike about him is that he sold products to normal people with the claims that they're going to change their lives. Yeah. You know, he sold the dream, right? Like, and that was where it all started, with the fucking Lamborghini in the garage with the books. And
that was the most ridiculous you've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. It's iconic. It's actually iconic how much of a meme that was and still is. It's like it's great that it's come back around. He has, but it's like, well, at what cost? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know who.
For me, I agree with you. I agree with you on all those points. I think he's got a horrible track record, and people don't have a good. They don't like him like they like GaryVee. He kept saying it's like GaryVee's project. I'm like, okay, in a sense, yes, but they like GaryVee and they want to be in his project. There's not a lot of people that want to be friends with Tai Lopez. So, and then when I went on his live stream, he's sitting there yelling at everybody that they don't know what they're talking about. And I was like, bro, what the fuck am I watching? I was literally in shock. I was sitting there on my live playing Dream League on my phone, and I was like, there's no way this motherfucker is saying this on live right now. There's no way.
I've witnessed the same thing. Like I've gone on kind of like live streams where he's been pitching his products for people to buy, like his and you know, same thing, like the shit that comes out of his mouth is like, who is like, this is someone I want to invest in. You know, it's bizarre. So I think people just don't understand, like, how the fuck is he doing what he's doing?
I don't know how he's doing it. Well, he's good at selling that dream, but I think my only point was that people are canceling him for the 50 ETH and the 45 ETH. And yes, but I just wanted people to know that was not the bulk of the project. That's what everyone was canceling him for. I was like, no, you can cancel him for the other stuff. But the reality is 90% of the project was 0.1 ETH. That was the floor for 90% of the project. And that was the only thing I wanted people to do, because it was just a teaching moment for me, that I was like, look, just because people are fudding on this dude, whether or not it's warranted or not, most likely the FUD you're seeing isn't actually the real story. So if you care about being smart and actually doing some research and not just jumping on a bandwagon, then do 10, because I found that out in 10 minutes. I was like, oh, wait, the project is 90% 0.1 ETH for the floor. Yeah. Or for the min price. And that was the main thing I saw people canceling him for. So that was my only point when I made that video. Plus, it was good for me to talk about. And how you said earlier, a few minutes ago, you were like, it's all good for us, dude. Like, I don't care, dude. Like, I'm just trying to cover it. I don't care.
Keep fucking Tai Lopez. Let's have another collection, Tai.
I'm down.
Another fucking collection out.
Yeah, steal everyone's fucking money. All your supporters steal their money again.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Wait, here's the biggest thing on Tai Lopez that I forgot to mention. He said he's going to make a hotel, make a restaurant, make all these things, right, for the holders. But if your project doesn't sell out and you don't make the required amount of money to actually fund that, then that comes out of his pocket. Is he still going to do that? Because if he doesn't, everyone who invested is getting fucked for real now. And so that's what I'm very interested to see what he does. Because if he doesn't do that, he just lied to everyone who just bought his NFT. He has to either refund them or I don't know.
Yeah, like that was I saw that as well. That was, the promise was that the fund, you know, the proceeds of the sale would go towards building an exclusive fucking kind of like club resort type of thing for the holders, hotel, fucking club, everything, bar, like, and in the end he made like $1 million or something. And it's like, you can't fucking build a hotel for $1 million. You can't build anything for a fucking $1 million. Well, I mean, you could build a you know, moderate sized house for $1 million, but you ain't building a hotel. Maybe a B&B.
Plus, no one wants to be there in the Tai Lopez hotel. Like, it's different if people fuck with you. Like, in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, when I'm like, okay, let's do some crazy shit here with the Joyage Kingdom. At that point, I'm not going to do that unless people want that. Unless they want, like we were in my Discord last night, and they were like, Joyage Kingdom MMA gym. we were just throwing names out. We're like Joyage Kingdom, Disney World, just like stupid shit. But I was like, in 20, 30 years, that's a possibility, but it's only a possibility if people fucking actually would go to that and actually would fly 4 hours to the other side of the country to go to the Joyage Kingdom, whatever it ends up being. But it only works if there's demand there. That's the same for gaming. And that's a perfect segue, because now we're going to talk about gaming a little bit. And what I think, I mean, this is just, it's not like I know this is going to happen, but I feel like it's been so under the wraps in the past 4 months now. Gaming has just been under the wraps. Just no one's been talking about it. Flutters of biopills and it goes back down. Flitters of Evaverse and it comes back down. And flitters of Colony Online and it goes back down. But I'm like, at some point when we're in a bull run, it's gonna fly and it's gonna be really, really crazy. And then Alex Becker's he's literally this. I keep making this joke, but it's not a joke. Alex Becker is gonna tweet out gaming bull run and it's gonna be over. And if you didn't get in before that tweet, it's literally over for you. At that point, you're gonna invest and you're gonna take an L because you're gonna buy the top. And so I just want to talk about it because that's the sector I think where we're headed, because we've seen so much bullshit projects with no utility, a lot of PFPs, a lot of derivatives galore this past bull market, right?
Yeah.
I think people are tired of that. I think we're headed toward utility, and right now gaming is the only real utility that I see being possible yet. Utility. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like absolutely. I feel like that when it comes to utility, we talk about the list of the, I covered a project today who kind of their whole ethos is taking the kind of like sarcastically looking at all of the utility that projects have promised, whether it's merch, P2E, staking, tokens, just like all of the shit, the in real life events, all of the stuff. And it's like, well, where's the evidence of anything having been delivered?
Right.
My question to you, and I asked you this last night, like, what are the games on your radar that for the next kind of like 3 to 6 months that potentially could be, because like gaming isn't my niche, that is not my niche of interest, so it's like it's tougher for me to keep my finger on the pulse of that. Where are we going to see the
I'm hoping it's not going to be the standard play to earn. It's not a game for a lot of these. It's just staking. Like I don't know why people keep calling it a game.
That's the thing. It's not a
it's
fucking
so
game.
Confusing.
It's not a game. I know it's not a game. It's not a game. So I'm talking about like, okay, well, who is going to be the first one that fucking makes GTA for NFTs, or
it's probably Board Yacht Club. It might be Board Yacht Club.
Yeah.
I saw some gameplay. I actually played one of their games on their thing. I couldn't understand it because I'm not a big gamer and I couldn't fucking win. It was pissing me off. It was also 3 a.m. and I was half awake, but their game was pretty funny and it could work. I don't know if it's going to be that. I don't think it's good enough or even remotely good enough to be like actually fun, where people actually want to play unless they're making money off of it. Sure. But for me, I mean, people already know my stance, and I don't want to talk too much on it because I hold a biopills and universe that I probably will flip in this next gaming bull run, just because I don't like. For me, my stance is switched on NFTs. I'm looking more to invest in clubs, basically, kind of like how I was mentioning earlier. Like I just wanted to be a Subduck so I could be in the Subducks club. And so gaming projects, while I know when I sell, they'll still go up. And I know me selling my biopill is a bad decision as far as finance because it'll probably go up, continue to go up after I sell. But I just don't care to be in it. It's an anonymous team still. There's no real brand other than it's a sick game that may or may not be here in 2 years. It might just be hype. It might just be an NFT game that doesn't actually work. As soon as Minecraft comes in, it's over. But oh man, that's tough. As far as games, I don't know about specific games. I just know that if there's a game that's been building that you've seen that's been building since like 2021, essentially, if they've been building since last year, I think that's worth doing some extra research on. I'm not going to drop any specific names. I mean, if you've been watching my channel, there's probably 4 projects that come to mind that you probably have heard me say multiple times that those are probably safe bets. I mean, I don't know if they're going to make the best game, but they'll definitely go up in value in the next bull run, especially gaming, because they've been here, because they've got strong team that's been working for a long time. But that would be my only bit of advice for how to find those projects, is that you look at a project that's been building. That's literally the only thing. There's something else to look at. Most projects don't have enough gameplay. They don't have enough anything to show and prove anything. Yeah. So it's just like, you just got to look and be like, all right, well, who's been doing the longest stuff? Who's been showing the most amount of work? There's some projects that are doing sneak peeks every other day. I think that's good. Like, here's a tweet I was going to put out. I was like, frequent sneak peeks is like good foreplay. If you don't have enough sneak peeks, that's just like ripping your pants off and say, all right, let's go. You know, it's never going to be as good as dropping those sneak peeks. That's my opinion, at least.
Is this Cade's guide to NFTs or sex?
Oh shit! Let me get my Joyage Kingdom mask real quick.
Oh God! So remember we spoke about this a few weeks ago though, about how if you look at gaming in general, right? Like for a game to have extreme value and hold value for a long time, like whether it's Minecraft, COD, whatever it is, like there's a handful. There's a handful of those, which means that there is going to be a time when there's going to be a top, and it's just after the top, it's just down. It is just fucking down.
Yep.
And the most important thing is that you are not the ones left holding the bag, especially with NFTs. You are not holding the bag when it's at the top. And that's the biggest risk that I see, is that we have a lot of claims from teams for games. And like you said, yeah, you quite rightly pointed out that none of them are games. They're just fucking, you stake your NFT and, you know, whatever. I mean, so yeah, I think that I just want your audience and our audience to be wary of that when we're looking at the relative illiquidity of NFTs. You just always remember that the game is like, do you want to invest in something for $3,000 and then basically play a game for a few months, and then you've paid $3,000 to play a game for 3 months? Is that how much you want to play? Is that game really worth it?
Why you're investing too? Like if you're investing purely to make money, then develop a thesis. Mine is like, I think gaming and utility projects are probably going to pop off next. It just makes the most sense to me. So I'm like, okay, that's the thesis. Which projects are probably going to do well there? And then when they're pumped up and when everyone's tweeting about it because everyone bought it, you know, I did with my Subducts. I didn't do it to pump the project. I just been wanting to buy that project for 4 months. But most people, when they buy NFT, they buy BioPill, for example, and they tweet that BioPill is going to be it. This is the gaming project. Get in now or it's over. That's to pump their own bags, because chances are they're trying to do what I'm trying to do, which is get the fuck out before the attention fades and people go, oh, Troverse, oh, Colony, like, and then like, you know, next thing you know, it's like, oh, gaming bear market, and then like boom, you're holding 7 different bags and everything's down 10x. And like for BioPills, a lot of people bought in BioPills at like 3 ETH, and on the floors are like 1. I'm like, bro, you're a fucking idiot. Like this is when you buy BioPills right now, because it's down and no one's talking about it. And so
like everyone remember, this is an NFT is an asset, and you buy an asset so it appreciates, and you sell it once it's appreciated. It's fucking like, do not forget what we are doing. The name of the game is that we are investors, and we are all traders, and we are making money. That is, at the end of the day, it's like, and what you are doing is you're playing a game, and you are doing research and diligence to understand where you should deploy capital. And when you start getting emotionally tied to projects, and Cade's example of he's investing in Subducts because he wants to be part of the community. That's a different kind of question. That is a different utility. Exactly. That is a utility of an NFT. But when it comes to, you have to have your thesis, like Cade said. Am I in this to make money? If so, you have to be fucking emotionless. And you have to
specific projects too. Like I'm very much focused on just holding my Subduct, but I'm very much focused on flipping my BioPills. I don't care. BioPills is anonymous. There's no brand that I'm really tied to emotionally. I don't care. I like my BioPill. I actually really fuck with my BioPill, but I'm gonna flip that because I'd rather hold another project that I do fuck with on an emotional level. I bought another Cool Man yesterday, but I'm flipping that Cool Man because I have one that I love, and I'm gonna hold that one forever. But I have another one because I'm like, this brand's gonna be terrific in a few years. I'm gonna hold this one until I can flip. But what I do is when I find a project I really love, I do my very, very best to get enough liquidity to buy more than one. And I find if it's a project I really fuck with, I buy one forever and I hold that one. And I'm like, that's it for me. I'm never gonna sell that one. That'll be my ticket in. If there's ever an event, I'm like, I'm proud to hold that NFT. And then I hold another one because if I bought that one, chances are I'm pretty bullish on that project long term. And I got another one to flip later down the line. And then I can take that liquidity and buy into another project that I love, or I can buy something I want to buy in real life. But you really have to know why you're buying each project. And I actually had that. Most people have not had this conversation. I'm seeing this, and I'm not even talking shit. This is the facts. No one is thinking about what they're buying before they buy it. And there's two strategies that I think are really going to be helpful. You need to know, everyone knows this, you need to know when to buy. And it's not even you need to know when to sell. You just need to sell. You need to sell the project. And people don't realize, like, when we're in the bull run, when everyone is so euphoric and Kevin MFers is pumping, that's when you say, all right, fam, peace.
I'm out.
It was good to hold you. It is time to get out because this market's crashing and I want that liquidity. I want that 3 ETH that I could sell that NFT for so that when the market goes back down and this project that I'm in love with, but it's right now it's pumped up, it's coming back down, and then I can snipe in and buy that project.
Yeah.
And we got a couple comments here. Oh, wait. Bryce says check the Discord. Hold on. Oh, shit. All right. Remember how I said I want someone to make me a picture with the... Ah, fuck. It's not really going to show up. Hold on. Can you see it? Let me zoom in. Bro, he edited the logo into my eyes, but then, like, under my eyelids somehow. How the fuck did he do that?
Oh, my God.
That is wild. I look insane.
You do, dude. That looks so creepy. That looks so fucking creepy.
That is wild. I like that.
Well done,
Bryce,
fam. Who did that? Who did that? Who are we shouting?
Bryce.
Did Bryce do it?
I'll send you a satellite. Yeah, that was really good. I love that.
Dude,
and he did it quick as fuck too. He threw that together.
Yeah,
it didn't
sick
look
as
like shit. I thought that was interesting. That was really cool. Okay, let me. We got a couple more things here. He didn't mean to make it uncanny. No, I actually fuck with it. I think Tom thinks it looks creepy. I fuck with it.
Well, I could only see it very blurry. I need to see a clear picture.
Yeah, you know, hold on. I'll send this. I'll send it to you on Twitter real quick so you can.
Wait,
see
let me go. I'll go into.
Let
me. It's in your Discord, right? I'll go have a look.
Oh yeah, it is my Discord. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just sent it to you on Twitter so you can check it there.
Fuck me. It's so good, dude. That's
I like
so
creepy
good.
shit like that. Like
Right,
that's not creepy to me. That's kind of like, I don't know. I've always liked. So here, we'll talk about this for another minute before we go into this. So I've always liked art that makes you look celestial. Like I've always liked art and games and characters that look celestial in a sense, and that makes me feel celestial because my hair is like gold shiny in that picture.
Yeah.
And like the glow from the sun was like, that's why I took the picture there because the sun glow was coming in. But I fuck heavy with that project. I fuck heavy with that picture. It's gonna be my next NFT.
Yeah, dude, that's skills. It looks fucking sick. It looks great.
Hell yeah, Bryce. Okay, so
Talent.
This is not to knock on Ugaverse. This is a project that I repped a long time ago because they were really pushing the brand for Uga. And since then they've basically rebranded into Mecha Apes. I was fine when they went from Space Apes to Ugaverse because I thought Ugaverse was a better name, and I thought it made better sense. And I liked that they're getting away from the apes. But then they pretty much branched into Mecha Apes, and they basically more or less just dusted the Ugaverse Genesis collection. There's really no, at least to my knowledge, there's really no reason for me to be in that project anymore, which sucks. And I'm saying this publicly because I went publicly to support it, so it only makes sense for me to publicly say that I'm more than likely getting out unless in the next month I see them ramp up their branding. I've had probably 8 meetings with them where I talked about this and mentioned some things that I want to see that they're not doing, and that's the reason that their Mecha Apes game got so much FUD, because it didn't really work, and it's not really a game, and there's no brand, and there's no reason to be in the Genesis collection other than the fact that we're still hoping that it'll eventually be that thing. But honestly, we haven't seen even a lick of effort in that direction. They still haven't been doxxed, and they said they would like 6 months ago. They said they were doing it soon. There still hasn't even been a thought toward that. I haven't seen a single step toward branding in any sense. If we look at and I'm not talking shit here, guys. I know there's a lot of people who believe in Uga and who are in the Ugaverse, and so a lot of them from me too. That's what I'm telling you guys now in the bear market, because it's going to go back up. I'm not saying to do anything, but if you look at their Twitter, whitelist. This is their Twitter. They've become a marketing campaign, and I brought this up to you yesterday, and you actually talked a little bit of sense into me, and you were like, well, everyone's doing that. And
yeah,
while that's true, I hate it that it's happening to certain projects that don't need to do that. If they could literally just do the branding instead, and it would be better. And I'm like, that's where I'm so frustrated. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I love Ugaverse, but I have no choice. I'm like, bro, you haven't done anything that I want, like that you need to be doing to be in a, I don't know.
Okay. So first up, remind yourself that you are, in this instance, you're an angel investor, and an angel investor, after a couple of rounds of funding, and if you can think about the NFT, the launches of their collections as funding rounds, essentially, you're able to, in typical, normal, ordinary circumstances, you can cash out. You can cash out your shares and be done. Like maybe they've increased in a little bit of value, and you're done. And that happens. That fucking happens. And it's typically because teams, oh shit, they weren't good enough to deliver what they promised. That's it. It's just as simple as that. And you look at what they're doing, and they're showing no effort. They're showing no strategy. This is my fucking problem with anonymous teams, is because they can get away with that, and no one will hold them accountable. Yeah. That is my biggest gripe that I have with anonymous teams. They can do this shit, and then at the end of the day, fucking 3 months down the line, all of a sudden you'll go on their Twitter and there won't have been a post for 3 weeks. Yeah. Or 2 weeks, whatever it's going to be. And that is what a slow rug is. And it's shit when you've been a part of it.
The thing is, they're pushing this game, which is fine. It's just that they're making the entire brand about this game. And to be frank, bro, like it's not a game. It's just staking. And there's no brand behind the game. So it's like the token's going straight down. It's like a 0.001 or whatever. Like for the OG token, it's like 75 cents for DMT. And people are holding on to the belief that it will make them money. Like here, for example, Adam or Andy, says thoughts on prospects for phase 2. I think it'll probably have a massive run up, just like phase 1 did. But if it doesn't, it's fucking over. You know, if phase 2 doesn't deliver the same level phase 1 did, it's literally over, because they have done nothing other than promise massive gains. That's the only thing they promised. They haven't worked on their brands. They haven't worked on what other reason to play this Mech Apes game other than because Moon. Like that's literally the only things I'm hearing. And like I keep seeing things like, oh, Ugaverse brand, but there's nothing that they're actually doing to push that brand. They're just like riding the wave from back in like September. And I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? You're literally, it's not that much work to like help the brand. You know, it's really just not that much work. It takes a couple tweets here and there from the Banana Collector. Haven't seen that. A couple AMAs that are led by the Banana Collector. Haven't seen that. You know, it's basically just Peter coming on and just like sounding like he's got a gun to his head on his Twitter Spaces, and it's just like, it's not a good look. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, do y'all not see this? Like, you're putting so much effort into this staking model thing, but like, what is going to actually make this work? And that's going to be the brand that they're not doing. And it just doesn't make any sense, because I've said this a million times. I'm like, guys, why do you think that like the token is so down and the floor is at 0.02 for the, like, people don't want to be in it because it's not making them money, because that's the only thing you're promising them. So
yeah, so Kate, so like at a basic level, token value comes from demand, right? Yeah. And that is the same as any token, whether it's fungible, non-fungible. The value is driven from demand, and the way that these guys or NFTs can drive demand is through through branding. That is the only way, and delivery of utility that is valuable. It's staking games. So a good example of a staking game that has been doing very well recently, that I covered months ago, that has continued to just like deliver new stuff consistently, is Metroverse. Kind of like an online, like a monopoly, like a digital monopoly. And they have been clearly working hard, and their floor price stayed close to 2 ETH. Like it's hovered between 2 and 1.5 ETH, and it's just because they're continuing to deliver stuff. I mean, I say that from when I last looked at them, they were an anonymous team. I mean, so who knows? But
if you're anonymous, that's even more reason that you have no choice but to push your brand, because you don't have that docs. You don't have that checklist on the docs part. Yeah. And to Annie, he says, I wish you're on the charge of that project, bro. I have literally offered to help and be part of that branding, and they never get back. It's like 4 months later, they'll hit me a message like, hey, like, meeting, and then I'll say the same thing and nothing again for 3 more months. And I'm just like, bro, like, at what point am I just holding on? Like, at what point am I in this project because I grinded in their Discord in September for 4 days straight, got a Genesis Uga, and now I'm just mostly tied to that picture because of the work I put in, not because of the work Ugaverse put in, because the work I grinded for 4 days straight, didn't sleep, and that's why I got the Ugaverse. That's why I'm holding on the project. That's the only reason I'm in that project right now, because of that. And it's not because they've done any work, because they just haven't. And I don't want people to think I'm funding this project, because here's the thing. I have said everything I'm saying directly to their team on a meeting in Discord, like a direct Discord call with 3 guys in their team, and I've seen nothing. And I've done it multiple times. And at this point, I'm just like, bro, I got nothing to say anymore. I'm just like, well, fuck, that sucks. I hate it because they're the ones who gave me the first opportunity into the NFT world. They helped fund me for the first few months when I was working in their alpha Discord a little bit. And, they hired me to give them videos early and help on their alpha Discord, which I did both. And then a few months later, they were like, this isn't actually, you're not doing enough. And I was like, hold on, that's what we agreed on. And then it just ended up not being what they wanted. So we disbanded as far as that. But I stayed on as like an advisor where they would just call me every now and then. I'll give some tips. They'd ask me questions about this, that. It never applied to any of them. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
RIP.
Yeah.
God,
like,
I'm so frustrated.
It is frustrating when you put effort in. And that's again, like when we're thinking about what this entire thing is that you're working as an advisor for a startup company, and you're trying your best, you're giving energy, you're putting in effort, and they're not taking on board what you're saying. That's super frustrating. But typically what happens in those situations is people part way. Simple. Yeah.
Well, it's one thing if like I'm giving them advice, I'm like, oh, this maybe could work, but it's no problem if you're not doing it because you're also doing these things. But it's like, no, my advice is working because I'm doing it, and my brand is stronger than Ugaverse's brand, and I'm a much smaller creator and person and brand, and I have a way tighter knit community because of that. I'm like, and I haven't promised money, and that's not the way I did it, and so I know that my stuff works because all the projects I've picked with that mentality, doing that, have fucking gone to the moon. I'm like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I'm right, and I'm like, I'm right, and you're not right, and you're not doing any of the things, and I've told you for 5-6 months now this is right, and everyone else who is doing these things is flying right past you. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, I just can't support them anymore. I don't know what else to do. I have nothing in common with them anymore. There's nothing about my brand and their brand that makes sense anymore. So it's just like, yeah, I guess we just part ways and no hard feelings. I'm just frustrated.
Yeah, I get that. And it's I think like part ways, watch from the sidelines, and see what happens.
Yeah, respect to the Ugaverse team though, because they did give me that launch pad. Respect, nothing but love to them. I just wish they went into the direction I was hoping they would, and they didn't. So I guess we'll part ways. That sucks. But anyways, we do have another topic here with GaryVee, VFriends. So if you guys don't know GaryVee, I don't know how that's even possible. But if you don't know GaryVee, he's 3 million followers on Twitter. He's basically CEO of NFTs. He's basically the creator of NFT as an idea. He was the guy who pioneered the movement. He explained it in a way where he was the first person to bring blockchain and NFT technology to the mainstream by explaining it in ways that made sense. His first video when he was like, NFTs, buying an NFT is just like buying a thing in a video game. And then when that didn't make sense, he said, okay, how much would you pay for a verification mark on Instagram? And that's when everyone was, oh, fuck, that's what it means. You're paying for digital flexing, basically. Digital clubs and whatnot. So he was the guy who did that. He's also got an incredibly strong brand. Before he was doing NFTs, he was just building the brand on helping people be happier and be better people and not being a bullshitter, in my opinion. And so that was his brand. And he built that over like 20 years and, helping people just in general, just in life, just being like everyone's dad, basically. And so he launched his project VFriends. Everyone missed it. I missed the boat on this one. I literally didn't hear about it. I don't know how I didn't hear about it, but I missed the boat there, 28th floor. So the chance now for anyone who wants to get into his project was either Book Games, which was a 1-hour live on YouTube that I just happened to be part of just by pure luck. And he said, if you buy these 13 books within this time range, you will get the Book Games NFTs sent to you in like 7 months. So I did that, bought the 13 books. I spent like $200, got the NFT now. That Book Games NFT, which is on Immutable X for people who are interested. If you have one, you have a 26% chance of getting a V2, which is GaryVee's VFriends Volume 2 or Series 2. You have a 26% chance of getting whitelist for that. So if you hold a Book Games, so that's what you get for it. And I think there's going to be like, there's 40, 50K. There's a lot of NFTs in this series too. But for me, if I was to get into this, it would just so I can be part of GaryVee's brand. Again, that was the reason I would get into this project. But that's what's coming up for VFriends. I don't know if you got any thoughts on VFriends or not, but
I have. No, I was speaking to some people earlier. I've been, although I'm like I love GaryVee. I haven't been following it apart from the VCon stuff and I just haven't been following because I'm like, frankly, I'm just like not interested. I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about his art. He's making, he has from what I understand, he has aims to make to essentially be the next Disney, which is sick, which is really cool. But I'm not a 4-year-old, so
yeah,
I don't care.
True.
Or I don't have children. But like, yeah, massive respect to him. I think he's showcasing the power of NFTs, and he's also showcasing the power of influence, which he has been.
Yeah.
That has been what he's preached for the last 15 years. It is the power of personal branding and influence, and the equity that comes along with that. So that's all he's doing. He's using NFTs to demonstrate that all the effort that he's put into his personal branding is fucking valuable.
Yeah. Thanks. He's Festa Azul. Appreciate it. Yeah, smash the like, guys. If you haven't liked the video and you're in here right now, click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow Tom's stuff is in the description down below too. So if you want to follow him there. But yeah, no, for VFriends, what I would do with my volume 2 or my series 2 is I would, if I got one I really fucked with just by dumb luck, then I would probably hold it. But the goal would be to flip into a V1 at some point. And that would just be so that if I ever meet GaryVee, I can just be like, I'm a V1 holder. And that might change, in a couple of years, I might not really be interested in that. It also might just be so exorbitantly expensive that I'm like, it's not even worth it at that point. But for me right now, I'm just kicking myself for missing volume 1 because it was literally available. Like anyone could have bought it, and it was sitting on a floor of like 0.4, 0.5 for so long. And I don't even know how the fuck I didn't hear about it, but I probably missed the boat on that one. I don't know. It's been a while since GaryVee's released anything. So I think people are getting really excited about that. He's been going all over Twitter Spaces talking about it. Oh, okay. So how could he be the next Disney? What he means by, Disney's a master cartoonist. What he means is the brand of being like, he wants to be the biggest brand ever. He's trying to leverage his brand of self-respect, self-love, gratitude. He wants that brand to turn into visual, whatever that ends up being. And so I'm sure he's going to hire someone to like make the cartoons probably a little bit better than his stick figures that he did. But that's what he's trying. He's trying to leverage the brand. It's not the actual artwork, I don't think.
Yeah, so what he's trying to do is he's trying to build an ecosystem of characters. Like when I say the next Disney, he's flat out said he wants to create the next, the next Mickey Mouse, that like, and you're right. Like, of course it will although, in fairness to GaryVee, like he can draw better than I can fucking draw. And sure, he's not a master cartoonist, but yeah, like you said, he already has. He's clearly already hired animators to
V2 is way better from what I've seen.
Yeah, to like it's the kind of like the inception of what is going to be the kind of like ecosystem of characters that he is building. And in fairness to him, I think I can see it. I can see because
I can see it too.
Like he has the reach, he has the influence, he's got the passion. Like it sounds as if this is going to be one of his biggest passions, like actually helping to instill love, gratitude, empathy within young people. And that's something that we've never seen before. We've never seen someone come out with that much influence and being like, we need to help young people understand these core characteristics that we never teach. And so that's that. So I see him. I can see it with when I'm reading my children bedtime stories. I can definitely expect that I'm probably going to be reading GaryVee books, and we're going to be watching GaryVee cartoons. And in 50 years time, 70 years time, we will be whoever will be talking about GaryVee in the same light as Walt Disney. I can.
But probably way better because people don't even know who Walt Disney is. They're just like some dude who like
exactly. They know Disney. We're in a time where GaryVee has millions and millions of hours of footage of him.
Yeah,
and the equity around that owned media that he has is so. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's a smart guy. Like he's going to own the jet.
Well, he took Walt Disney's model and literally flipped it. He copied it. I mean, GaryVee, Walt Disney. Disney World, and then it's VFriends. He just didn't do V World. V World would have been stupid, but VFriends is that. VFriends is enough of a difference from GaryVee to be a brand on its own. VFriends doesn't sound like GaryVee. VFriends is its own thing. That's why I made the Joyage Kingdom and didn't do something like Bergman World or something stupid like that. Like I wanted to make it separate because I was like, if Joyage Kingdom's gonna last, It can't just be tied to me, especially if I get fucked or something stupid happens to me. You know, that's it for the brand. You know, if it's Bergman World or Cade World or something like that, so it's got to be something different. So he's doing it right. I think he's gonna be very fucking successful. And you said it. It's gonna be this is his real passion project. You know, I mean, this is all it is an extension of his brand. Like his goal for his whole life was to become, like he says it is for everyone in the world to want to come to his funeral. That's the goal. So that's the goal. NFTs are just the product he uses to surf that wave and make that happen. And so in that sense, like there's a few NFTs that I hold because I think it'll be not even a flex. It'll just be one of those things like, how the fuck do you own one of those kind of things? Like when you look at your portfolio, he said this in a podcast. I think I mentioned to you maybe yesterday or the day before about some projects are going to be like actually going to be the next Mario or something, or like the next Marvel, the next Spider-Man, Winnie the Pooh, whatever, just so high level, whatever. And you're going to be able to own the actual original thing from the very inception of it. And that's kind of how I look at it. Cause he said with comic books, he was like, there's a million comic books that are decent and, you know, some readers read them here and there, but then there's like some that are just transcendental. And those will be like the 10 to 20 projects in this first wave of NFTs that are most likely, they're probably going to be the ones that launched in 2021. Probably not the ones that I haven't really seen that impressive stuff this year. I mean, maybe in 6 months I'll say something different, but you know, like in my opinion, like a project like Cool Cats has that like it factor for some reason that people just fucking love so much.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like if to me it's, you know, I'm being brutally honest here. Like I see it's pretty clear to me. I see VFriends, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and Cool Cats, and perhaps Doodles as the only real blue chips, like real blue chips that have a brand and they've got a place to go. Like you know, with Bored Ape, it's going to be their game and their I'm sure there's going to be like TV series, whatever it's going to be. Cool Cats, it's like that is fluffy toys, fucking whatever. Doodles, it's I don't know what with Doodles, but like I can see it happening. I could see streetwear. I could see like there's a lot of shit that those brands, but others
well, right now those I agree. Those are the only established blue chips that people can agree on and say there's nothing here to argue that it's not, because it is.
Yeah.
Now my play is what are the ones that are about to be that? What are the ones that are on the cusp of pulling in Doodles, where Doodles goes from 1 to 12, you know, from 1 ETH to 12 ETH in a matter of weeks. What is that next project? I have my best place. I think there's 3 or 4 projects that I hold right now that I think will be that. I don't know. I may be completely wrong. Actually, there's probably not 3 or 4. There's probably 2 projects that I hold that I think will be that. But it's a gamble. You know, it's one of those like if I had bought Doodles at 1 ETH, it would be the same story. It's me thinking Doodles will be the next Board Yacht Club or something like that. And I agree. There's only going to be, Gary says 10 to 20. Oh my God. I'd be surprised if there was 20. That's a lot. You know?
Yeah. I fully agree. Like, and this is where I think we've been in this long enough now, and we've seen the volatility, and that if we can give you some advice around it, it's, you know, if you're really looking long-term on these things, the long-term asset value is going to be from world-class artists, the Damien Hirsts, the fucking whoever, like with big names, that those are going to hold value. And then it's the brands, the monster blue chip brands that have a huge amount of trading volume behind them, and big VC backing, and VFriends, and the kind of like the exclusive clubs which might have high entry points, which Bored Ape is obviously, but they're, you know, that the community is based around a foundation of people that perhaps, you know, weren't buying it at huge amounts. I mean, I don't know what that looks like now. Like, to be honest, I would, if I had a JPEG that all of a sudden in 6 months was worth $250,000, I would have sold it a long time ago. I wouldn't have $250,000. So I don't. My assumption is that the Bored Ape Yacht Club is going to be a very exclusive community for the extremely wealthy. That's my kind of long-term vision for that. But what they will act as is it will become a brand beyond that. But the actual assets, the thing you have to remember with this though, is that when, and we've seen it with the dropping of the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor price has dropped 40 ETH or whatever. And I've heard this from a few people who actually owned them. And when you own a blue chip, you have to remember the number of buyers that are there who are looking to pick up these things is fucking limited.
Yeah,
like there is that you so when you buy a Cool Cat, a Doodle, or a Bored Ape Yacht Club, you have to go in realizing that that's not a guarantee that you will be able to sell off that asset.
You're in the club. That's all you're buying.
Exactly, you're in the club, and you have to realize that very quickly there can be a cascade sell-off where you are because there's such few people who are going to be buying into a sell-off that the undercutting is just extreme. Like it's like you're undercutting it.
Has so much volume, but it's not like there's a million of them trading. It's like only a few have traded. It's just so expensive that it looks like
exactly.
Yeah, so great point.
Remember, you have to remember that is that when if the idea is to flip up into these. Like, I do think you still have to be wary of the holding of the bag, unless and
if
the
it pumps,
realization
if
of
it
profits.
pumps high, it'll probably come back down. There's nothing that pumps straight up and then doesn't come down. There's no project that even Bored Ape, when they have their first run up, they still crash. Every project will always have a crash. Doodles has shocked me because it didn't really crash that hard. I thought it would come back down to 6 or 7, and it just didn't. So, but again, that's not like common.
Yeah.
So for most people, you really need to ask yourself the style of investor you are. If you're someone who can buy and hold, then do that, But like for me, like if I'm going to buy 2 of any project that I think is going to moon like in however many months, I'll try and buy 2 so that I can, or I'll try and buy 3 so I can buy 1 when there's a good run up and I can just get some money back, and then hold 1 long term. Like Journey says, Journey Crypto has 107 Bored Apes. And he's like, I'm not selling any of those for years. He goes, even though I can make 100 ETH per thing, like he's like, you know what? I'm just not going to do that because in 10 years it might be just, I don't know what it would be. I don't know how it could ever get more than 100 ETH because it's like at that point, who's going to buy it? And so I think he's done for that. I think he should be staying at 100 ETH. But
this is the question: is what is actually the top? What is the top?
It has to be a top
for these things. But we and this is when, like, unfortunately, the circumstance we're in at the moment with the war that's going on has definitely flattened kind of like money movements and people's willingness to invest in risky stuff. So I still think that there is, the irony. There's a lot of rich Russian people, and they like buying expensive shit. And that's the irony is that actually there's China and Russia have so much capital flowing about for that these fuckers are so wealthy that spending $1 million on a JPEG is nothing. And so I still don't think we've touched the surface, man. I still think that we could see the Bored Ape going like 200 ETH floor.
God, that would be wild. Think about that, because every 6 months we look at prices and we're like, wow. And then 6 months later, we don't even bat an eye because we're like, oh, like now we're here. And that's going to be interesting because we'll be looking back and be like, damn, all right, Bored Ape Yacht Club, 270 ETH floor, Doodles, 47 ETH floor. It was like, oh man, you remember when Doodles was only 10?
Yeah, it is. We're still so early. We're still under a year from this shit. We're like 9 months in. And it's you think about the friction that there is, the fucking friction there is with buying an NFT is, we forget about it because we do it day in, day out, but it is beyond an everyday person's realm to do the shit that we do. And let alone wrap our head around the concept of spending 250 grand on an image online image. So just we need to get to the point where things are frictionless. And we're nowhere near that. We're fucking nowhere near that. And so when the friction gets reduced, there's going to be a lot more people who, you remember, the majority of wealthy people are old. And what do old people not like? Technology. And what will old people not go anywhere near? Technology with friction. So
What are we gonna be like when we're old though? You gonna want JPEGs when you're 75?
Well, exactly. At that point, it's like, well, why would they want it? So this is the thing. It's like there's we're so at the start. We're still so at the start. And there's no one playing this game at the moment. There's 1.3 million people on OpenSea. It is a drop in the ocean of the world's kind of like at the moment. It is people that are tech who love tech. It's tech people, and so we haven't scratched the surface. Yeah, like I saw that comment. I also agree. I think 1 mil for a Bored Ape, especially if we look at where ETH could go. If ETH just has to do a 4x from where we are, and then we're at just starting to bump up towards 1 mil for a Bored Ape. So yeah, we're so early. I still think that there's a lot more people who will want to play the game, but the game has to become easier, as in like just one. As soon as we get to one click,
well, right now, like if you want to participate in like staking, for example, there's typically 2 or 3 hoops you got to jump through, and I have trouble doing that. Like people think I'm a coder or developer or something. I'm like, bro, I'm a YouTuber. I don't know how to read in depth, at least, like smart contracts and know how to do these crazy things. Like I'm a YouTuber. I'm just as dumb as you are. When MetaMask fucks up, I'm like, oh shit. Like I texted Nate yesterday. I was like, yo, I'm trying to find this like thing on my MetaMask thing, and he was like, oh, like try this. And I was like, no, that's not working. He was like, oh, well, damn. We were both just like,
so I had the same experience yesterday with with I was trying to troubleshoot something that was clearly super basic, but it was beyond my skill and knowledge level.
I fucking hate it. And I'm like, if I can't figure this out, oh god.
Well, yeah, we have to remind ourselves, like we are surrounded by the people who are in this space are people that a lot of people that do understand it. And we're in the I would say we're in the, well, I don't know. I actually don't know what the percentage would be, but like it's still so far away from mainstream that, it's, and until we get that one click transaction, where gas isn't no one, when we start not talking about gas, that's when things will start to ramp up.
You can get their freaking volume, their layer 2s layer 2. If they can get ETH 2.0 to work, that'll be, I don't know what's going to happen then, but that might be a catalyst to something extraordinary. Because if ETH has no gas fees, I don't know what happens to everybody else.
Dude, exactly. So, and that's what they're working on. They're working on getting to that point where whether it's a solution that bypasses gas fees, but yeah, there can't be, you can't be going to buy something and then you're paying more for the transaction fees than you are for the actual thing that you're buying. That is,
or the fact that I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll just wait till midnight because I don't feel like paying extra.
Exactly.
Like, that is so stupid, bro. Like, God, it's so stupid. I'm like, oh, I want to transfer an NFT to my ledger. It's like, oh, well, I better wait another 9 hours so it's not $100 to transfer this. Like,
exactly. So do you think that we have to remind ourselves that at the moment we have to change our behavior and lifestyle because of the friction. So for a newcomer who's coming into it, they do not give a fuck. They couldn't give a fuck if they could make a few grand selling some JPEGs, because the barrier to entry is too high. So that's where like I see opportunity. That's why I'm like, man, if I could fucking code and do this shit, I would just be like, I would be with 10 people and be like, guys, how do we figure this shit out?
Yeah.
Like, how do we figure this?
There are people doing that. I think it's just
and
hard.
there are. Yeah,
I think it's just gonna take forever. It's such it's a fucking monster of a thing. You know, it's so much stuff. Like, it takes forever to edit anything that's massive. Like right now with what's it called? Like Minecraft, the game. You know how it's like anyone can edit on it and build on Minecraft. Yeah. But it's taken like years and years and decades for like anything actually dope to be made. Because it just takes fucking forever, and that can be taken for everyone in NFTs. That like we're in this world where everything feels like it's moving fast, but in reality, the things that actually need to be happening for actual value to be implemented takes forever. And people don't
Yeah.
realize that because everyone's promising things and giving them half-assed 2 out of 10 quality stuff. And that's not something I want. Like in that Q&A yesterday with Goons, one of their guys, Ryan, was like, look, we're not looking to extract value from these NFTs. He goes, that's not how it works. He goes, this is just a brand. We're just building. There's period. Sorry, that's not the answer you want, but that's the answer we have. And so if that's not good enough for you, like this is not what he said. This is something that I'm saying now, but it's just like, if that's not good enough for you to be in the project, and like you're in the project to be a goon or whatever project, then get the fuck out, dude. Just get out and go buy a fucking Pixelmon Fred MFer or something. But like, God, I just want people to know what they're. I don't know. There's too many people. Like every time there's a new wave, there's new people who come in. And I think the mentality of the new person is getting worse each time. And it's not getting better. Like when I started, I had just as much of a degen mentality as everyone who gets started, but it wasn't nearly as fucking atrociously like, what's it called when you feel like the world owes you something and you didn't do anything? Entitled.
Yeah.
People come into this empty space feeling entitled. I'm like, bro, you have not put in any ounce of work. You don't know anyone in the space. Why do you think you deserve to have a 25x on an NFT that you bought that sucks? You know, I never went in with that mentality. I went in hoping it would do well. When it didn't, I wasn't in there flooding the Discord, screaming at everyone saying, devs, you suck. I was just like, damn, let me learn how to not do that shit next time. That was my mentality. And I'm like, why? I mean, maybe there are people coming with that mentality. I'm just not seeing a lot of it.
The one I like the most is the D-list in the general chat. Like, you know, it's like, if everyone just delisted and then listed, like, I'm like, you fucking just imagine spending your life like telling people to delist their NFT.
And then this is a good question. So this will be like the last NFT thing we end on. But Will says, any guesses on an existing project that will pump when the market comes back? You can just look at any project that pumped last time and say, okay, is their brand strong? And then pretty much yes. The answer is yes. You know, so if the project's not dead as fuck and they've been building and they're staying open and they pumped last time, I'd say that's a pretty safe bet.
So like one way to make it like kind of you can use this downtime right now to spend researching. So the answer to the question is will they pump? The answer is we fucking don't know. Me and Kate do not know. We are not financial advisors. We do not fucking know what we're talking about. But what you can do is you can spend this downtime, and this is what me and Kate have been doing in the last week or so, is we've been researching. We're spending a lot of time looking into projects, doing the deeper research that we typically maybe wouldn't do during, maybe during an upswing. But we can look into projects, really deeply think, okay, well, who is this team? What do they make? What are they made up of? What are the components made up of? What is their background, their experience? Have they ever built something? Have they ever fucking built a company? Whether it's an agency, whether it's a product, whether it's a platform, have they ever built something? Like, and if they have, that's a good sign. But you have to go and do that research yourself and figure out, okay, have they done this before? And then the next thing is, during this downward time is, okay, well, how good is the engagement within their community? And that's when you have to go through and you have to just look at a lot of Discords and you have to just get a feel for it. You have to get a feel for, okay, well, oh my God, this Discord only has 5,000 members, but their chat is flying, you know, messages every 10 messages a minute. And it's a dead period at the moment. Yeah, they're doing that. That's happening. And maybe they've been live, they minted 2 months ago, but then you go to another chat and it's got 150,000 members and it's tumbleweeds.
Well, you have to develop a thesis. You know, people. I think I had this realization a few months ago with YouTube that I was sitting there. I was like, this should not be this hard. YouTube should not be this much work. And then I was like, wait, actually, no, it is this much work. That's why no one's a YouTuber. It's really hard. And then I was like, people have the same mentality with NFTs. They say, I shouldn't have to do this much research to find a 25x. Are you fucking an idiot? Do you even know how much research you have to do to make a 12x? Like, there's a reason that I've made some 12x's, but it's because I spent 5 hours on a single day, and then I spent another 20 hours over the course of multiple weeks to land a massive 12x. Like, it's not like people people get lucky, of course, but that, like, people think that's normal and that you don't have to do work. I'm like, no, fam, you have to do a lot of work. People don't realize how how much research that the people that are winning are actually putting in. People on Twitter who make a couple tweets here and there, they're like, man, you're consistently making 12X's. I'm like, well, I guarantee you they're not just getting lucky. They either know someone who knows someone, or they're doing the research. There's no other way around it. So people who are saying any guesses on the existing projects, the answer is you have to develop your thesis, and then you have to proactively buy. I already bought 2/3 of the NFTs that I'm betting on for this next bull run. I already bought them. They haven't pumped. In fact, some of them have gone down. But my thesis is they'll come back. And so you have to proactively buy. That's the biggest piece. You got to buy it during the dip. And so it looks like Will did that. He said he bought a hate prime during the dip. I mean, nice. I mean, I almost bought a hate prime.
So like, there you go. So that is exactly it. You have to have the thesis, like Cade said, and you have to make sure that you're entering at the right time. And the time is this time. And this is a great time because at the moment we're seeing consolidation within the market. So we're not seeing pumps. We're not seeing any pumps. So it's a really good time because you have the time to research. And there's a lot that I think there's a lot of good teams out there who have things at the moment that are, in my opinion, fairly affordable and can at least compared to a month or two ago. And I think have a lot of upside to them, and they have things in their roadmap that they're going to be delivering over the next 2 months. So I think it's a cool moment because you can kind of like you don't have to rush at the moment, just take your time.
Yeah, 100%. You never have to rush, and I know some people. Or even me, like I'll fumble into something when I shouldn't, and I've almost always gotten burned when I fumble into something quick. Even if I'm like, oh, I need to get it right now. This is different. This is really under the timeline, and then I get fucked every time. So I think yes, just what did you say? Prada or nothing. NFTs moving on. Yeah, but that's good. People think this is bad. I've never thought NFTs in a downward progression is bad. I'm like, that's great, dude, because all I've been doing is research anyway. This is the only time I can fucking afford anything. So it's like, this is a good thing.
I
know.
I
don't know why people get so mad. I'm like, you can't afford it in a bull market. You're an idiot if you're buying everything in the bull market because it's just going to buy the top. That's like buying Bitcoin at 65K because it's 65K and then it crashes to 40K. I'm like, you're a dummy, dude. If you like Bitcoin, just wait until it's affordable and buy it.
Like there is, if you're desperate and you maybe if you're a gamer, and again, this isn't financial advice, but like, you could day trade. There's opportunity to day trade NFTs still. You could look. We've seen enough volume.
I made half an Ethereum swing trading a couple of projects recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gotta pay attention to what the support line is. I made a video on this. Wherever it keeps hitting and no one's letting it drop below that, that's about the support. And then when it gets to here, it's really not getting above this. That's when you sell it. And I've done that. Like I think I did like 3 or 4 flips in that project, and it was just easy, bro. It's just easy. Got a couple ideas here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've pretty much wrapped up the NFT talk. One thing I wanted to leave us with is a thing that I saw that I've been doing that I talk about in my podcast as far as like manifesting stuff and like working on your self-image and self-love and stuff. So this is one that, what's her name? Mel Robbins, I think. She does this thing where you do a high five in the mirror. I don't really like high fives as much. I don't high five anyone really. But there's a movie. Have you seen Braveheart?
What, with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the very near the end when he makes a pact with Bruce, with Robert the Bruce, where he says you should unite them. People are listening to you, and basically Bruce was like, maybe I should join you. Maybe we should fucking destroy England, and let's do this. And he was like, okay. And so Mel Gibson raised his fucking hand up, and he goes, unite us. And he fucking stood there like this, and then Bruce just goes, fuck it, and just like a solid clasp. And I was like, that's kind of badass because that feels like a real, like a pact,
Yeah.
I did end up having in the back right after. But pact, the symbology or the symbol of that moment was cool. So what I've been doing in the morning, or just at some point in the day, is if I notice myself in the bathroom, like, oh, I haven't done this, it's just literally like holding yourself up and like saying, I got this shit today. And then you just make that pact with yourself. And knowing that you're good on your own. I saw a lot of people on TikTok talking about, I guess it's just like going on TikTok about relationships and stuff, and about people being dependent on someone else for their happiness and dependent on their NFTs doing well for their happiness, dependent on their portfolio looking good for happiness. And the truth is, like, you're never going to be happy if you're always relying on something else or something else. You just got to be okay with the fact that you're stuck with yourself and you can only rely on yourself. And building your self-esteem through that and making promises to yourself and not breaking them every other day. And so that's one way you can start. There's nothing you're signing up for. There's no like contract you're signing. There's nothing more than this. But over time, this builds and becomes something more powerful to you. And I've always manifested. I've always done things like that, and they work. And this has been one of the most powerful things, because you look in the mirror and you look at yourself, looking back at you, making a deal with yourself. And for me, that's been pretty powerful. It hasn't changed my life or anything, but I think it's dope. And so I've started doing that. So
nice, man.
You doing it, Tom? Make that pact with yourself, bro. Do this shit. Fuck yeah. Go. All right. Code word is going to be, I don't know. I got me. I got me. Could that be the code word? Should we do something dumb? Should we do something good? What should we do?
I don't know if you can read that. No, you see it's the other way around. Can't read it.
You know, how about we do this? How about we do this? Joyage Kingdom Summits.
Yeah, buddy.
Joyage Kingdom Summits. That is the code word, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all you being here for a fucking hour and a half. That's wild. Joyage Kingdom Summits is the code word. If you made it to the end, please comment that. If you're in the chat right now, you can click the like button. Click that like button. Make it blue. Lord Fresh, what's the code word for? Just so I know, just so we know who's making it. There may or may not be reasons down the road for people that. I mean, the main thing is that if you're doing the code word early on while we're like small, and I recognize your name when I have 200,000 subscribers still because you kept commenting the code word, that's basically it, because like, man, I don't fucking know. That's basically it. It's just for fun. Subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom, follow Tom. All the links are down in the description below. I think it's Tom Youngs on Twitter, and then Kate, just my name on Twitter. So thanks a lot for being here. Tom, any last words?
No, man, it's been a pleasure as always. And see you guys. Actually, it won't be next week. It'll be the week after. Having a bit of a break next week.
Oh, motherfucker. Did I? Oh, I thought I typed this wrong. No, summits with 2 M's. But it's all right. It's all right. Submits. No, summit. That's fucking funny.
Oh, God. That is funny.
Okay, here. We got one. There we go. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will not have one next week. I may or may not be linking up with Nate to do that episode, or I might just do it on my own. I'm not sure, but I do NFT updates anyway, no matter what. So yeah, we'll see. He says he likes submits better. All right. Well, anyways, guys, continue on your Joyage, continue to learn, and be grateful for your life watching this video. Bye.